I move to open the Marshfield Conservation Commission meeting of Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. First off, I want to welcome our newest member, Corey Miles, making her first appearance with us as a Conservation Commissioner. Welcome, Corey.
Thanks.
So we had minutes. Minutes of 10:4. Did you have any edits or changes, Mike?
I did not receive any edits or changes.
Does anybody have?
I just sent one, it was a little edit.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I will incorporate that. So
Okay. So I move to approve the minutes of October 4th as edited. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, de minimis activity. There's kind of an echo.
I think the speakers are on.
Yeah,
Okay.
the speakers have been turned on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, they fixed
Yeah.
okay. I feel like I'm screaming. First up is the Hatch Mill needs, we have a recusal. Vice Chair O'Donnell is connected to the Hatch Mill board, so, and I also want to point out that Commissioner Karen's husband has a connection to the Hatch Mill group. However, because we have an emergency quorum issue, she has revealed to the select board that she will be voting and does not feel she has any prejudice in this matter.
Filed the disclosure.
She filed a disclosure form with the select board. So they are requesting a utility trench 24 to 30 inches deep to run from Union Street down the current driveway. It is in with the existing driveway, previously disturbed. It is for a utility to come in. One pole out on Union Street will be taken down, two poles on Union Street will be taken down to one. And additionally, the timber frame bridge that crosses into the mill will be replaced with a precast concrete planks, and some gravel will go in the parking area. I do not have any issues with this as a de minimis activity. Only a very tiny portion is in the wetland, and that is exactly where the structure is anyway. So I move that we vote to call this a de minimis activity. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 John O'Donnell, second.
Okay, we need Bert back.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, we now have 300 Ridge Road. The applicant is requesting the planting of 9 trees down the side of the property line. Is Ms. Follett here? Is she out on Zoom? Nope, okay.
I can speak on this.
Do you want
one
to
if you'd
speak,
like.
Mike? Sure.
Ms. Follett of 300 Ridge Road would like to plant 9 trees along this property boundary here. She would like to plant eastern red cedars, which are thriving in that area and would likely be a good planting option there.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments? Seems fine to me. I move that we vote to allow the planting of 9 trees at 300 Ridge Road as a de minimis activity. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 47 Beach Street. Hazardous tree abutting drainage easement. Is the homeowner here? Do you want to speak to this, Mike?
Yes, I went out on site with Agent Anoya a number of times here. We took a look at these trees here. You can see them pictured above. They're covered with vines, not doing too well. They're very close to this drainage easement that the town owns, right here where there's a drainage ditch. However, we did scale the map, and then we took a tape measure and went out in the field and determined that those trees were not within the town's drainage easement. So they would just like permission to cut these hazard trees within the buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland.
And they understand that they need to have that work done themselves?
Yes, we've conveyed to them that those trees are in fact not on the drainage easement.
Okay. And you recommended that they top them and leave the,
Yes, stump them at 4 feet to ensure that the root system remains intact and in the ground.
okay.
The this area where the drainage ditches is heavily vegetated with things such as Phragmites, opportunistic invasive species. So the agent and myself were not particularly worried about the bank eroding in that area.
Okay. Any commissioner comment, question? Okay. I move that we allow the hazard tree removal abutting the drainage easement at 47 Beach Street to be done as a de minimis activity. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Item B2 is Rocky Reach Forestry Management Plan, and as I am an abutter, I will be recusing on this. You take it, Bert?
Okay. Have we got anybody here that would like to present this? Come forward, please.
Hi, good evening, Commissioners. I have submitted a request to be able to cut,
Your name and address, please.
I'm sorry, Lisa Messersmith, and 1309 Union Street, North Marshfield.
So your request is to cut these trees as indicated on the drawing?
On the plan, yes, it's
Yeah.
a 20,
Mike, have you got comments on this one?
Yes, there was just one flood tree within the 200-foot riverfront zone. The rest would be a forestry outside of our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This also comes under North River Commission jurisdiction, and we recognize their rules, but subject to their approval. My opinion is this would be okay. Other commissioners? Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the cutting as per the forestry plan and the drawing. Have I got a second?
Second.
Second is Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
thank you. And just by the way, I did get approval from the North
Okay,
River
great.
Commission.
You're good to go then.
Thank you.
Could you tell Ms. Hannafin she can come back in?
I think she knows when they open the door.
All right. Business item B3 is an Eagle Scout project at McGowan Cemetery at 80 Union Street. I knew there was an old house back there, which I think was recently removed. I didn't know there was a cemetery. This is an Eagle Scout project. Would you like to present it to us?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Jason Armstrong. I live on Union Street, 186. And I would like to present to you Eco Project on the Magoon Cemetery. As you said, it's on 80 Magoon, or no, 80 Union Street. But,
I'm sorry, do you think the second microphone is what's causing that feedback?
I'm not sure, Jack. Do you know what's causing that feedback?
Yeah, maybe we switch the other one off.
Could it be the second microphone?
Yeah, I'll just take away the second
Yeah.
one.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
So this is my first ever meeting like this, so bear with me. There's this cemetery that I'd like to present this photo first from this is I think a post stamp from 100 or years ago, 1915, 1920. This is what it used to look like, and if you mind me passing this around.
Yeah, sure. Bring it up.
So, I have pictures on my phone that I could also pass around soon, but I'm just gonna say that there's trees everywhere now, and there's a lot of invasive plants. That there's not a lot of sunlight coming in, and yeah. I gave copies of one of my proposal and both I had both pictures of the measurements of the cemetery up close and the granite wall around it. The project consists of refurbishing an overgrown piece of history, the Magoon Cemetery. It would greatly benefit the community by preserving its historical significance and creating peaceful and respectful space for visitors to pay their respects. It also enhanced the overall appearance of the area, contributing to the beauty of the community. And the cemetery was established 1838 with 12 headstones, one large obelisk honoring the Magoon homes and Sherman families. Would you like me to go through the I have a step-by-step plan of how I could execute this?
Yeah, sure. Read it so we have it in the record.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And you guys, I don't know how many copies I made. I think 2 or 3, so they should be there.
I think we have the text of that you're, yeah.
No worries. To refurbish the Magoon Cemetery, I would need to develop a comprehensive plan. So one, clearing and cleaning up. Remove any debris, fallen trees, and overgrown vegetation. I have volunteers to come and clean up the area. I have 20 or so younger scouts in my troop, which I'm in part of Troop 101 Marshfield. So I could get scheduled weekends for them. There's probably a day's worth of trash. I could easily get me and my friends down there and get that all cleared out. I could do possible fundraising for a landscaping team. Our goal is to get more sunlight into the cemetery, so it's not gonna be how it is now. A few of the things that needed to get approved was to expand the driveway so you're able to get cars down there and get stuff moving. And then I was thinking of a possible stone or sign in front of the driveway to just show where people where it is, because there's not much of a gap for a driveway for people to go in. And for you example, you didn't know that there was a cemetery. So then my bad. I'm gonna start from number 2 again. Repair and restoration. Assess the condition of the granite retaining walls, steps, obelisk, and headstones. I'll use the D2 to clean and rinse the headstones and obelisk.
Can I just ask,
Yeah, go ahead.
what's D2?
It's the specific chemical that so the headstones are made of marble,
Yeah,
and to clean it without washing away the texture or anything, it just cleans all the.
I was just curious.
No, no worries.
Thank you.
Number 3, assessing and signage, clear and possibly enlarged driveway for easier access. Install clear signage indicating the presence of a cemetery for visitors, like I was saying, possible stone, or saying when it was established. Landscaping and beautification, design and implement, my fault, I'm jumping around. Install a bench with signage for my troop, or seating areas for visitors to rest and reflect. And number 5, maintenance and upkeep. I don't know how, what it was afterwards. Establish a regular maintenance schedule for mowing, trimming, and upkeep. Yeah. Yeah. So, the road that carries on beyond the cemetery was an old family friend. Alright, but I'm gonna rephrase that. So, the reason why I want to do my Eagle project is that there's a road that carries beyond the cemetery that, with an old family friend, my family used to, not, crap. Me and my family used to have a family friend that we would used to come visit a ton growing up, and they lived beyond the private road. When they moved, the house was forgotten, and over time taken down, and soon the cemetery seemed forgotten as well. This land hasn't been touched upon 50 years, and I want to jump on this opportunity as I would be doing something for me and the town. My family on both sides, my mom's and my dad's, has been in Marshfield for generations, in which my past ancestors were correlated within the families of the cemetery.
Thank you. It's really interesting. I didn't know that was back there. Do you have anything to say, Mike?
Yes, this land parcel is under care and custody of the Department of Public Works. The cemetery appears that it would be within a buffer zone to the border and vegetative wetland. I also didn't know, I know that there have been a number of trees that have grown in the cemetery since it was last maintained. Kind of what is the largest diameter of tree that you were thinking of cutting in that area?
Cut anything 5 inches or below the diameter, and hopefully because that's already a ton cleared out. Also, with your concern about the wetlands, I did the measurements a few weeks ago, and 1 second. The closest the wetlands get, or actually the closest that the 2 Mile Brook gets, is 33 feet, and that's on the north side. But I don't think there's any issues with the wetlands, but I could look into that further.
So if it's 33 feet from, is that the actual brook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom in, it looks like there's, according to this mapping app, and mapping apps are never 100% correct, it appears that it does get pretty close to these vegetated, bordering vegetated wetlands to the east of the property and the north of the property, and it looks like there's that river that runs up this way as well.
2 Mile Brook. It's not in a floodplain, I don't think, is it? I checked the flood map.
So.
No.
It is in natural heritage.
It's natural heritage.
Species.
I approach, is that all right? I'm his father.
Sure.
I'll support him a little bit. Jason Armstrong, 186 Union Street. I live with this guy. You want a little help?
Sure.
All right. I think his plan, if it's approved, We're also on a time constraint. He turns 18 in March, so he'll age out if he doesn't get something going. His idea is to basically clear it. There's a lot of really big trees. I mean, there's 24, 30-inch pines that have grown in. The scope of his project, he can't really feasibly tackle the big trees. He wants to take anything that's about 5, 6 inches down, just around the mound of the cemetery to clear it out and allow a little more sunlight in. And then anything that's on the ground, just on the mound that's there.
So that's inside the
Yes,
the
there-
stone wall?
Yes, inside the stone wall. And I don't know if it applies to the conservation, but he wants to help reset some of the stones and try to re-secure it. And the biggest thing with the stone at the base, and it's the stone wall at the very base of the hill. A lot of saplings, very small pine and oaks are growing in and pushing, I think their root system's pushing some of those stones out. So he wants to at least alleviate some problems with that, and if we can push them back in and secure them, he wants to do that too. Something like that?
No, yeah.
Well, I think one thing is you would have to check in with National Heritage Endangered Species Program. And it's probably turtle habitat, but it is mapped. And if you check in with the office, they can tell you about that. It's NHESP.
That's through, ma'am, that's through the state?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're very familiar with them.
Yep.
See Mike, he'll be able to tell you immediately. Did you look at it, Mike? Is it currently within that? I thought I had taken a look at it and it
Yeah,
wasn't in
we'll,
there anymore.
I'll pull it up into the presentation so you can reference it.
While he's looking at that, one thought I had was if you are going to go ahead with this, with clearing and cleanup, you mentioned grub and hoe, the adolescent trees and brush, and I would like to make piles with the help of DPW to either haul away or chip. I wonder if you might consider building slash piles around the outer edge, which is provides some good wildlife habitat, and I guess you're really not going to be doing any planting. It can be a deer deterrent, but rather than hauling it, chipping it, if there's an area you can leave the slash. Just a thought that I had. Is it NHESP?
Yes, it is. This is the full parcel here. You can see it highlighted.
Okay.
All of these areas.
It's
The
all,
highlighted areas, all NHESP area.
okay. So you would have to run it by them, and this is DPW property?
Yes.
So,
He has a meeting scheduled November 15th with the DPW.
okay, you're going to DPW, because, yeah, they're totally separate from us. I don't know. I would imagine they would welcome someone doing this, since it's their property and it's not being taken care of. The road in there is pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that might be something DPW could help you with.
I totally support anything in the previously disturbed area.
Yeah,
which would be
absolutely,
the
and it's a cemetery.
And that D2, that's to clean the headstones,
Yeah.
to remove the lichens. I've actually used it, and it doesn't even disturb the grass around it.
Okay.
So it's-
Okay. I think it sounds like a really great project. I'm gonna go back there and look at it. Does anybody, everybody in agreement that,
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I think
I'm
it's a
sure
good
you
idea.
are, yeah. Okay, I guess we'll take a vote. I move that we support the Eagle Scout project of J.D. Armstrong from Troop 101 regarding a cleanup and rehabilitation of the McGowan Cemetery.
Second?
All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you still need National Heritage Endangered
Yes.
Species to sign off on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Just a letter from them saying that they reviewed the project.
If you check in with either Mike or
I-
Liz, our agent, they can tell you who to contact and just tell them what you're doing. They can be a little slow to respond, so I would do that quickly.
Not Mike and Liz.
No, no, never. Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, our next item before I am tabling. We are waiting for other things to happen there. So, before we go to the public hearings, I just want to list the continuations in case anyone is here for any of them. We are continuing SE 42 3056, 0 Main Street. We are continuing SE 42 3015, 60 Foster Ave. Continuing SE 42 3051, 3 South Street. And I will note that 0 Assumption is being withdrawn. So if there's anybody here for any of those hearings, they will not take place tonight. And 0 Assumption will not take place until further notice. Okay, so next up is 25 Damon's Point Circle. Do we have the DEP number on this?
Yes, we do. It is SE 423067.
Okay, this is a new hearing. I will read the legal ad. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, to consider the notice of intent filed by Marilyn White for 25 Damon's Point Circle, and the hearing officer is Commissioner Karen.
I think you confirm all the administrative requirements for the communities. This is a raise and rebuild of a single-family house in the AE 12 flood zone within 100 feet of, within the 100-foot buffer zone to salt marsh. And then also the north of the forest. And Rick is representing.
Yes, Rick Savant with Fenbeck and Taylor. As you stated, this is a raise and rebuild project on a residential site. The applicant is proposing to demolish the existing home and construct a new home on a concrete foundation with proper flood venting. As you stated, it is partially within the AE 12 flood zone, the front portion of the house. And the proposed pervious driveway they're proposing is within 100 feet of the salt marsh. The project will also have to go before the North River Commission, being within the corridor. That'll be coming shortly, hopefully. So yes, new home on a concrete foundation with, we're proposing 7 flood vents, which is adequate for the size of the crawl space area. The finished floor will be elevated up to elevation 15, which exceeds the requirement for the AE 12 zone. We do have a slight increase in impervious area, the 626 square feet. We're hopeful that the fact that we're converting a non-compliant flood home into something that can flow a little bit better is, would be a bit of an improvement from what's there today. Well, that's essentially what we're hoping to do. We do need to go to ZBA, or the project does, and we have filed a floodplain permit. I haven't seen any comments from the building department, but maybe you have.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Did you have any comments?
simple.
Yes, I had a comment on this one. I had spoken to the town administrator regarding this property this week. There's been some historic use of the homeowner at 25, it appears to be the homeowner at 25 Damon's Point Road, using this town parcel directly adjacent F200205 I believe the select board will be reaching out to the homeowner about ceasing, that usage. But I wanted to note that for the special conditions, that, no continued use of parcel F200205.
I would also like to point out that when you look at the site map, it appears that the driveway and walkway is within it's beyond the property lines and into the roadway. However, Liz checked into that in the town directory, this is listed as a common driveway, which means they have the right to use halfway up 50% of the roadway to the center. So that's why that, you see the pervious pavers and the walkway extend into that. So, I don't have any other questions. There is a slight increase in impervious, the size of the house. And I just want to make sure there's no more, I know they're doing pervious pavers in the front, there's no impervious plan for the rear and the sides of the property. Pretty tight.
No, not to my knowledge, and just addition on that driveway, I spoke to they hadn't talked about a driveway, I said, we need to show something here. It's going to have to be pervious. I went with the highest level as pavers, and maybe stone and maybe shells, but I just wanted to get something on there that was, so it may not be pavers, but I wanted to get something on the plan. But no, I don't know of anything else proposed for landscaping or hardscape on the property at all.
The building administrator did have some concerns about the crawl space. That was the only thing he was concerned about, that it may not actually be accessible or usable because it's small and the size of the property would be accessible. And one of his comments is that we would need an elevation, he would need an elevation during construction.
Yes.
So those are issues that we took up with him. Do we have commissioner comments?
Pretty straightforward.
Sorry, Mike, you have another
I
comment?
would suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18, prior to construction, conditions 5 and 2, during construction, condition 11, after construction, condition 1, erosion control, condition 1, and then the special condition about no continued use of parcel F200205. And to clarify, there's like a patio set on that parcel, a small garden and a boat being stored, so those would all have to be removed, and no storage.
No comments? Is anyone on Zoom from the public? Would like to make comments? Yes. And the conservation office?
Yep.
Yes. You can just go ahead, they're there.
You can also contact us via email, and we can send those to you as well.
Seeing there's no further comments, I would like to make a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next is 89 Indiana Street. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, November 1st, to consider the notice of intent filed by Anna Osgood for 89 Indiana Street, and the hearing officer is Commissioner O'Donnell.
Michael, we all set with taxes, fees, abutter notification?
Taxes, fees, butters have been met.
Okay.
DP number was issued. It is DP number SE 423068.
Okay. I see John's here to present. I took a site visit the other day, so I'm familiar. I walked the site, so it looks fairly straightforward. So go ahead, John.
Okay. John Zimmer, South River Environmental, on behalf of Anna Osgood. This is basically a straight replacement of the existing septic system. There's an existing residence within the property. The existing septic system is to the west of the property. If you've been to the site, it's a pretty tight site. There's really no other place for the septic system to go. So the proposal is to replace it basically within the same footprint of the existing system. There will be a little bit of cut and fill, which is why there needs to be a retaining wall. It needs to be mounded a bit to maintain the proper separation over the leach field. There's a BVW that basically wraps around the entire perimeter of the property, which I delineated. And we will incorporate erosion controls at the limits of work. And we've also incorporated conservation markers. Basically, the wetland goes pretty much right up to the edge of the lawn on the west side. So we'll have conservation markers along the limits of the lawn to prevent any future encroachment into the resource area. That's about it. They are in front of Board of Health. They don't anticipate any significant issues with the design.
Okay. All right. You are proposing a retaining wall.
Yes.
On the front, on the other side, I guess, basically the other side of the hydrant. How close to the street does that retaining wall come?
I think it's 4 or 5 feet off the,
The wall, okay. And you did mention that the retaining wall is going to be 4 feet or so?
Yep.
So the commissioner, building commissioner, Andrew's comment was, if the retaining wall is 4 feet or more, you need to get approval from the building commissioner.
okay.
So I guess I think it was vague. I think in the document it mentioned.
I think it said roughly
4 feet or so, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to know
Okay.
that was a comment that Andrew had made, so.
Okay, I'll make sure to pass that along.
Yeah. And I guess there were some questions about how many, 4 conservation markers is
Yes.
4? And so I guess there was a question as whether or not we should have more conservation markers to delineate.
I was thinking it might be nice while the work is being done to put one at wetland flag 8 and wetland flag 5, just to wrap and delineate if they would be amenable to that.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, basically it's wooded behind those areas, so
Right.
and it's basically the edge of lawn, so
Yep.
I think that's fine.
But just, going forward to get it,
Yeah.
have it marked
Right.
would be, I would think a good thing, so.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm missing it, but I don't see I see the squares, but I don't see a note on the plan with the conservation markers. Did I miss that?
It says silt
Yeah.
fence.
Concom
barrier.
signs.
I did, I
Concom
missed it.
signs.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's buried in up there.
So there's 2 on the back, 2 on the side, and we're gonna ask for 2 more
I would ask for 2 more.
on the back, correct?
Yeah, flags 8 and 5.
8 and 5.
5, yes.
They'll just, make a line right back there and.
Are there any other comments or questions from commissioners? I know you were, anybody in the audience have any questions or comments? Okay. Mike, do you have any special conditions you'd like to note?
Yes, I would suggest the following. General conditions 1 through 18, prior to construction conditions 5 and 2, during construction condition 11, after construction condition 1, erosion control condition 1, and then the condition requiring the 6 Concom markers on the property.
Okay, then if the retaining wall is 4 feet or greater, or holding back more than 4 feet of unbalanced fill requires a building permit. That was Andrew's.
Yep, that's captured under obtain all pertinent permits.
Okay. All right, okay. So, with those special conditions, I'd like to make a motion to vote to issue orders of conditions. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you need a revised site plan by Friday, Mike, or what?
Yes, please.
Bye. Okay. Okay. Great, thank you.
Yeah, just those 2 more markers.
Yeah, easy enough. Okay, great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
John.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are on to 193 Pinehurst Road, which we heard at the last meeting, and the hearing officer is Susan. Commissioner Karen?
So this is a continued hearing for 193 Pinehurst Road for the construction of a single-family home on an undeveloped lot. We continued because we were awaiting additional information, and it seems like we have gotten most of that, so would you like to?
Sure. Yep, for the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer, Morse Engineering. As was just stated, this is a new single-family home at 193 Pinehurst Road that we submitted a notice of intent previously for. We continued this hearing for a couple of administrative items. Number one, the DEP hadn't issued a file number. They have done that at this point. Secondly, this site is in Natural Heritage and Endangered Species land. They have issued their letter as of this week that this produces no adverse impact on the site. You had also requested that our wetland scientist, Brad Holmes, review the site. The site previously had some alteration on it, and mitigation plantings were done. Brad went out, he submitted a letter to the Conservation Commission. He found that the plantings that were previously done were more than 75% in good condition. He did find, however, that there were 8 saplings and 6 shrubs that were in poor health or had died, and he replaced those. He provided photos of the site, of the existing vegetation out there, as well as the ones that were replaced. He also confirmed that the 4 conservation posts that were requested of the commission previously are all intact and out there at the site. We met with the building inspector since the last meeting. There was a comment that we have to file with them for an inland wetlands district. We've made that filing with them. So at this point, I think we've satisfied the administrative requirements, and we'd be looking to close, hopefully.
Commissioner comments?
Have you been out to the site since Brad Holmes checked the plantings? Mike?
I have not been out to the site since Brad Holmes wrote the report.
Has anyone been there since October
No, I just
27th?
Saw this today, so I was.
Yeah,
Yes,
me too.
and
And you have to go to ZBA too. Have you started
We do.
that filing?
Filed with them.
Okay, so that's all taken care of. My only hesitation is, I think someone from Conservation should get eyes on the planting, just so that we can be satisfied. Because when I was there, I'm surprised that more than 75% of the restoration plantings survived, because that looked very different to me when I was there. So, if Commissioner Karen agrees as the hearing officer, I would recommend that we look to close this at the next meeting after we've gotten eyes on this.
I would ask that we can close this meeting tonight. That would then give you 21 days to issue your order of conditions. And during that 21 days, you can go out and do your site visit. We can make Brad Holmes available to do the site visit with you whenever you want. But I don't think there's new information that we would be needing to produce that would continue this to another hearing date.
How do people feel about that? Any comments?
Personally, I'd rather look at it and continue it. You're waiting on ZBA and Inland Wetland District, and, you know, assuming that we can confirm this, we're done. But
What's the next available hearing date?
November
15th, I believe.
15th.
Let me double check.
15?
Yeah, 15th.
We'll continue to November 15th then if we can.
And we'll get a site visit as soon as possible, and if there's any questions, we'll contact you.
Wonderful.
And if we're
Appreciate
satisfied, we can just, let him know.
Yeah,
and
oh,
we can go
absolutely.
ahead and close it.
Yeah, and we'll
You know,
just
you may
close
not
it, and you won't even
attend.
have to
Great.
be here. But I,
Okay, that's not, yeah. So that's what I would be fair. If we go out and confirm
Right.
that this is accurate,
Do that.
then we can just notify them and be done.
Mhm.
We don't have to come back and have another full hearing.
right.
I think that makes sense.
We'll just vote at the
Just
next
vote on it.
meeting.
We have consensus on that.
Perfect.
I will move that we continue to the hearing to November 15th. Second?
Second.
All All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll get in touch promptly.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do this ASAP.
Yes.
Yeah, please let us know if there's anything. We'd like to
Yep.
wrap this one up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. 134 Surf Avenue. We actually opened this and held the hearing at the last meeting, but we were waiting on a DEP number. And we have
Yes.
that now.
That was
It is-
received, is SE 423069.
And Commissioner O'Donnell is the hearing officer.
All right, so as you mentioned, at the last meeting, we essentially went through the discussion of the project. Rick was here, presented. There were no questions or issues raised, I believe. I'm looking at Mike to confirm that is the case. It's elevating existing family home to produce a new compliant foundation with flood vents. So, given that fact that there were no questions raised, no issues raised, I'm going to make a motion that we issue the order as a condition. Mike, any special conditions you want to note?
Yes, I would suggest the following special conditions. General conditions 1 through 18, prior to construction conditions 5 and 2, during construction condition 11, after construction condition 1, erosion control condition 1, and an elevation cert, which is part of after construction condition 1.
Okay, and I'll just note that Andrew had reviewed the plans, and he said they meet and exceed all the flood-resistant design construction standards. So with that, I'd like to, in considering, in line with Mike's special condition, I'd like to vote to issue order of condition. Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have RDA 2312, Recreational Trails Committee at 172 South River Street. I think we are still waiting for various parts to come together on that one. So I move that we continue to, do we know where Ned is on
He's
this?
waiting on a new set of comments from Scott McFadden regarding the DPW wanting to go in.
Go
that
into a
10
wider,
feet.
okay.
Yeah, essentially their access width needs to be
Right.
increased, so
They
Scott will have
increased it.
to put his input in on that.
I'm gonna move to continue this to December 6th. To give Wildlands Trust some time on that. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the continuations because that concludes the hearings for this evening. I move that we continue SE 42 3056 at 0 Main Street to December 6th. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move that we continue 60 Foster Ave, SE 423015 to December 6th. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair Hannafin, if I may, 60 Foster Avenue requested a continuation to the November 15th hearing.
Oh, November 15th, I'm
Yes.
sorry, all right, strike that. I move that we continue SE 423015 to November 15th. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And 3 South Street, SE 423051. I move that we continue that one. I believe that is December 6th.
I had November 15th for that one as well.
Liz told me this morning these were all, they all wanted to go to December 6th. Well, we can do 15 and
Okay.
we'll in case they come in, but,
Could be a typo.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is December 6th.
Okay.
I move that we continue 3 South Street, SE 423051 to December 6th. And lastly, RDA 2321, 0 Assumption Street. The applicant has asked to withdraw this application. So I move to accept that withdrawal. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And we have 2 certificates of compliance. The first is SE 4229, SE 422923, 162 Bay Ave. We are still waiting for, there is still an active floodplain violation on this building. So I move that we continue this to 11:15. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And lastly, SE 422986, 14 Bank Road. I move that we vote to issue a certificate of compliance. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that concludes our business for this evening. I move to close the Conservation Commission of Marshfield for November 1st. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.